Yo, what's poppin'? Here we are in Mule HQ, and yes, I bought another ultralight rod and reel. I've got a couple ultralight rod and reels behind me, and I definitely didn't need another one, but guess what? I wanted it, okay? Sometimes you have to buy yourself Christmas presents, and this is one of those situations where I bought myself a Christmas present. My current ultralights are definitely budget, and I'm a big advocate for being a budget angler, but at the same time, I was super curious what an expensive ultralight rod and reel feels like, so I couldn't help myself. I purchased one. I still haven't even opened the box, to tell you the truth. It's been sitting here in Mule HQ, and I wanted to unbox it for you. I'm personally not a big fan of unboxing videos, but I know some of you guys like them, so I figured I'd do it. And once I get it all unboxed, I'm gonna go take it out. I'm gonna get my first impressions going and hopefully catch a few fish with it. But for right now, let's walk you through what exactly we got. First and foremost, the reel. I already took this out of the box because I was too excited, so I apologize. This is a Daiwa Tatula LT 1000. I mean, look at that thing. It's gorgeous. The main reason that I picked up this particular reel is the fact that not only do I trust Daiwa spinning reels, but this thing is so light. This thing is like a dang feather. And even though it's kind of pricey, this is something that I know is going to last me a long time. And as much ultralight fishing as I do, I think it's okay to go ahead and spend a little bit more and get something a little bit higher quality. This thing is just black on black and it looks so cool. I mean, the thing to remember is I usually look like a total goober out there on the water, so my rod and reel should at least look pretty. I gotta get on the old Google. I don't remember how light this thing is. Yeah, the Tatula 1000 is literally 5.8 ounces. You're talking about a reel less than 6 ounces. That's ridiculous. So now you're probably wondering what line I'm going to spool this puppy up with. I actually went ahead and picked up some of that Berkley Fireline Ultra 8 carrier. I think it's their new braided line, but this is a 6-pound test braid. I'm not sure what to think about it, to be completely honest with you. I'm usually a big fan of just monofilament on my ultralights, but I wanted to give braid another chance. If it's good, I'll certainly let you know, but once we get it all spooled up and go test it out, we'll form an opinion. The thing with light braid is it's so low diameter that it can cause wind knots and a lot of issues, so usually I don't like it, but I love braid on my bass equipment so much that I was willing to give it another chance. Anyways, the color I picked up is white, so I can really be able to detect those light bites. If I see that line moving just a little bit, I'll know something's nibbling and I'll pop it. Okay, so I went over the reel, I went over the line, now what's in the box? We're all wondering, what's in the box? Little box cutter right here. All of the tape has been sliced. Oh yeah, there she is. There we go. Got it. Hey, cool. Discount tackle sticker. Right on. Okay, got the rod out safely. No issues. What should I do with this sticker? Okay, we got the rod out, got the sticker on the forehead, we're good to go. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Okay, I think we're good. Oh yeah! I'm so excited. Yes! Yes! I'm very excited right now. Oh, baby. This thing's gonna be ridiculous. I love it already. Ethan, what is it? That's for me to know and you to find out. A Dobbins. This is actually the first Dobbins rod that I've ever owned. I have fished with a buddy's Dobbins rod here and there, but very, very limited experience with this company. But here's the thing, I know a lot of people that swear by Dobbins, so I definitely trust that it's gonna be a great rod. This particular rod is the Dobbins Sierra Trout and Panfish Ultralight. It's a 6'2" ultralight. I'm a big fan of the 5 to 6 foot range, and I don't necessarily know if I have a specific preference, but a 6'2" is actually the shortest rod that I had available to purchase, and so I picked it up, and I think 6'2" is going to be extremely versatile. This will definitely be great for trout fishing, panfish, small bass, you name it, I'm gonna catch it on this thing right here. Let's take a quick second to talk about the specs of this rod. This is a 6'2" ultralight, like I said, but in addition, it is a fast action, and then it's rated for 1/32 to 3/16 ounce. Honestly, that's gonna cover a lot of what I do. I will be honest with you, it's not rated for as light of stuff as I sometimes like to throw, but I'm pretty darn confident that I'm still gonna be able to use some of that super light stuff that I like a 1/80th ounce mule jig. First impressions, man, I'm telling you, this thing is lightweight and it is amazing feeling. I'm a big fan. The thing that I always look for personally with an ultralight rod is I don't want it to be too whippy. Just because it's an ultralight doesn't mean that you need it to be like flimsy like a dang noodle. I want a small fish and a little bit of pressure to be able to bend the rod a lot and have it load up, but I don't want it to be so whippy that I can't cast anything worth a hoot. This right here is what I like. I like being able to balance my rod by just putting one finger right above the reel. When I hold it, it has a tendency to just kind of lay flat. That's good. Definitely got a little whip to it, but nothing too crazy. This is gonna be an awesome rod for throwing small jig and plastics, which I do a lot of, so this very well could be money. As most of you know, I actually reel with my right hand on most of my setups, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave this on the left side just to continue to try to train myself to be ambidextrous. There's definitely an advantage to, after you cast, having the ability to quickly engage the reel when it comes to trout fishing. So I'm gonna leave it like this for now. If I really just don't like it, then I'll switch it to the right hand. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of monofilament as backing on here, and then I'm gonna tie it to that 6-pound braid, and I'm gonna go ahead and fill this spool right up. Okay, I got a ton of 6-pound braid spooled up on this thing, and I gotta say, this thing looks so beautiful. I cannot wait to catch fish on this. If it's half as good at catching fish as it is looking pretty, it's gonna be an awfully good rod and reel. 6-pound white braid. It feels really nice. I like it. I have a feeling it's gonna do okay. I'm actually gonna go ahead and put a 2-pound fluorocarbon leader on there. This Samurai J Fluoro by Daiwa. It's like this super high quality fluorocarbon. I have it in 2-pound test, and that's gonna be my leader. This is basically gonna be like my Ned Rig rod, except like 60% of the power. As I've spoke about in videos in the past, when I combine a braid mainline to a fluorocarbon leader, I like to use a double uni knot. I've been tying it for years. I'm pretty quick about tying it, and it just seems to do extremely well. So that's exactly what I'm gonna tie right now. This 2-pound fluorocarbon is super thin. It's definitely thinner than the monofilament that I like to use, but that's going to cut down on visibility, and it's going to give my jig a lot more action. So now I have my extremely low diameter leader on there. I've got about 6 foot of this 2-pound fluorocarbon on there, and I'm gonna go ahead and tie on a 1/64 ounce mule jig. Okay, let's go down to Mule Lake and get a feel for this new rod and reel. Okay, here we are at the lake, and I gotta be honest with you, the more I hold this rod and reel, the more I just love it. It is literally like a feather. It is so freaking light. It's unbelievable. Here's the hook keeper, by the way. It's actually below the split grip portion of the rod butt. I actually prefer if it would be right here personally, but it's not that big of a deal. For me, I'm not that worried about it. Honestly, I doubt I catch a fish from the bank, but it's worth a shot. Ultimately, my main goal is just to showcase the rod and reel and get some first impressions. I'm just gonna rig up a 2.5-inch gulp minnow on this 1/64 ounce fire red mule jig. And I'm basically just gonna dead stick it down there and hope that maybe a perch or something comes and investigates. It's a beautiful little rig right there. I guess the question will be is, how is this braid gonna perform? Okay, no issues with the first cast. A good ultralight should be able to whip out a really lightweight jig quite nicely. The castability of this setup with this pretty lightweight jig is definitely promising. I think this should be able to do a lot of the things I want it to. It's kind of weird because this line is almost wiry. You can like bend it. It's very weird. It's very unlike a lot of the braids that I've used. I'm trying to stay as unbiased as possible, but I love everything about this. The only thing that I would want people to be aware of if they were buying a rod like this is just the fact that it's probably a little bit stouter than some of the other ultralights that I've picked up in the past. But to be completely honest, I kind of expected that from Dobyns. I didn't expect something that was going to be like a super ultralight. I definitely knew that was not a bite, but for whatever reason, my brain still decided I wanted to set the hook. That 2-pound test is so dang thin, I have a feeling this is a goner. But this is a good opportunity to kind of show you how this rod bends. I mean, not a lot of pressure puts a good amount of bend in it. I have a feeling jumbo panfish and decent trout are going to be a lot of fun on this thing. I think this is going to be an incredible rod for jigs. I'm not sure how it's going to be for spinners and anything with treble hooks. Based on just how this rod loads up, I have a feeling some of those treble hooked baits might be a little tricky. Time will tell. I broke it. One thing that makes me happy is that it broke down by the jig as compared to up by the leader. Makes me feel good about my knots. I'm just gonna rig up the same thing. My hands are getting so crispy dry out here. I don't know why I'm not wearing my gloves right now. I'm gonna need a fresh coat of that Gold Bond when I get home. Oh sweet, I just remembered I grabbed a box of Nerds on my way out. These things are literally just like sugar, but they still taste good to me. Nerdy goodness, man. When I went to eat those Nerds, I smelled the Berkeley Gulp on my hands. Fish, 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 fish. What's this? Crappie? Oh, wait a second. It's one of them white perch. All right, look at that. We caught a fish, baby. I know there's a few of these in here, but I don't think there's a ton of them. I did not expect my first fish on this rod to be a white perch, but I'll take it. Look at that. I'll take anything, man. Anything that wants to bite, I will take. I felt the nudge, to be honest, but I almost like didn't believe that I was getting a bite, so I kind of just ignored it. And then I reeled down and he was still there, and then I popped him.
So I detected the bite, but again, I was just wasn't quite sure I believed exactly what I was feeling. As of right now, I'd say sensitivity is looking pretty good. I'm gonna need to catch more fish to really know exactly how it is, but I definitely felt that fish nudge it. The thing with ultralights is it feels like they can vary a lot. So you might buy one ultralight rod and a 10-inch bass is gonna kick your butt. And then the next ultralight rod, you might be able to pull in a 15-inch bass like nothing. This rod feels like it's probably gonna be on the upper end of ultralight. That being said, I'm still not sold. I think I just need to catch a couple decent fish to really see how it loads up.
Yes, I came back to Mule HQ. The reason being, I'm a weenie, and it was really cold out there, and my fingers were cold, and I wasn't a fan. But you know what I am a fan of is this new rod and reel. I'm extremely excited to keep playing with this thing. I know today was very much just a glimpse of what it is, but in the future, stay tuned, because I'm gonna keep on fishing this rod and reel, and I guarantee it's gonna catch me a lot of fish. Overall, my first impressions are very good. I think it's gonna be incredible. Also, big time shout out to my wife Jocelyn. She made me hot cocoa. It is so good. I haven't had hot cocoa in years. Man, why is hot cocoa so delicious? I have rambled and rambled and rambled. I guess the conclusion is I'm quite excited about this rod and reel. I think it was money well spent. My Christmas gift to myself, I'm quite happy with. Stay tuned for my next couple fishing trips. I'm gonna be taking this puppy back out there and we're gonna get a flex in it. I guarantee you that. Okay, thanks for watching this little bit different video. I appreciate you. Y'all have a good night. We'll catch you next time.